Hi there.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
Do you have time for an interview?
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, do you have time for an interview?
What type of interview?
Probably one of the most interesting ones you may have ever done. Sounds kind of cocky.
Okay.
It's interesting. I ask people to stop for 5 minutes and we select a belief that you're sure is true. And I ask questions to figure out how you can be so sure.
About a belief?
Yeah. A lot of people will pick supernatural stuff. There was a woman yesterday who thought voodoo was real. Another person believes in horoscopes. They would check their horoscope. A lot of karma talk. A woman this morning believed that her God was real. And I'll try to be very respectful and ask you questions, but it's going to challenge you a little bit. You know, I'm going to kind of see how you can be so sure that it's true. Do you want to move in the shade and do a little chat?
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
What's your first name?
Patricia.
I'm Anthony.
Hi, Anthony.
It's a pleasure. Patricia. How was your walk?
Great. I hadn't been out here in a while.
Really?
So I said I need to go out there. I'm bringing, my sister's coming out here to visit from, she loves to walk, so I said I need to bring her here, but since I hadn't been out here in a while, I said I need to check out the terrain one more time. Yeah.
Yeah, you hate to come out here with her and like get turned around.
I know.
Or something.
Yeah. So, and there was a lady that I was talking to because I wanted the most challenging, terrain, but I did take a wrong exit. So when I saw her, she goes, "Oh, I see you decided to take a different." I said, "You know what?" She goes, "Yeah, you should have taken this one." I said, "Okay, Thursday, I'll take that one." See, I'm so good,
Good thing that you came.
Yeah. So yeah, because I would have been like kind of lost, and I didn't want to feel that way going to my sister.
Totally understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I did that with my sibling, they probably would never let me live that down.
Me
Remember
too.
that time we went to the woods and you got me lost?
No, my sister will be the same way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she'll be. That's why I said I have to come out here and do a trial, a trial walk. But I enjoyed it.
I love that.
I
Trial
enjoyed
walk.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I record the talk?
Well, I guess.
At the end of the talk, if you're uncomfortable about
Okay.
it, I can not use the footage. I can blur your face. I can do audio only.
Now who are you with?
I'm not with anybody.
You're not?
Nope. I just have.
cards.
It looks like all official, right?
Yeah.
It's just a hobby that I've been doing for 5 years.
Yeah.
So I've started to learn that by the end of the talk, usually people want to meet with me again.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted to give them a way to reach me. Here, I'll give you the card now if you want.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I think I suggested, it's kind of blank on the back.
Oh.
I've suggested a couple topics that we can address, but when it's something that's very tied to your identity, who you are, so you find yourself behaving differently because you think that this belief is true. Those are the really interesting ones. Do you believe in voodoo? Do you check your horoscopes? Is there a particular...
Sometimes I do, but it's not something that I, every day. No, not really.
Okay.
Not really. I just kind of go with the flow, whatever today's going to bring, that's what I go with.
Okay.
Pretty much.
We can talk about a political issue. We can talk about...
No political.
No politics?
No politics.
How about a supernatural belief? Like, do you think a God exists?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
Can we address that one then?
Sure. I mean, I'm not, I'm a Catholic. I'm not totally, haven't been going to church much lately, but, I feel like I can talk to him at my own private time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, because he listens. You don't have to be, in a church. But I mean, I still, on occasion, will go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Independent of your frequency of attending church, do you still have a strong confidence that he exists?
Yes.
Can we put it on a scale from 0 to 100? 0 would be, I have questions. I don't think he exists at all.
Okay.
100% is, I have no questions at all.
No,
He exists.
I'm going to say 1 to 100. I mean 85.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like he's been there for me.
Yep.
I mean, things do happen, but
Is the reason why you're so high on your confidence is because you think he's been there for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's been there for you. If we, I just forgot to set the timer, I'm sorry. I always forget to do that. Well, not always. Lately, I've been forgetting to do that. I don't know why. Okay. If by the end of this conversation, or later, you started thinking, maybe he hasn't been there for me, you started questioning that more, would that have a corresponding effect on your confidence on this 85%?
If I felt like he hadn't been there for me, no. 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 Mm-mm.
You would still believe...
Because things happen. I think sometimes there are trials that he might put us through, you know, and that's what I feel.
Okay.
Yeah, because that makes us a stronger person because we go through these trials.
So for the rest, let's say for the rest of your life, you start becoming less and less sure that he's being there for you. You would still be 85% sure he existed.
Yeah, but how can I say that? I mean, for the rest of because I don't know what the rest of my life, what my future holds, so I can't answer that question because I'm not there yet.
Yeah, we can't predict the future, as far as I know.
Yeah, so I don't know how I'm going to be feeling 15, 20 years down the line.
Let me try it this way.
Yeah.
What would bring you from an 85 down to a 5?
Well, since I'm a mother, but then of course, you know, that's another that would be considered. I guess if something happened to one of my sons, I mean, I think at that time a person would question if, you know, if there was like a tragedy, because being a mother, I would die for my 2 boys. I mean, hopefully that will never happen, but I mean, especially if it was like, you know, some type of a tragedy, I might question it then.
Okay.
I might, because I mean, I don't know. I don't really know, because I mean, God forbid that it does happen. I don't know how I'm going to really feel. But I mean, if something like that happened, maybe I might question it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably a kind of a maybe a common sort of response that if something bad happened to me, I'd question why a God would allow it to happen.
I would probably question. You know,
barring a tragedy, and I'd really hope that would never happen.
Right. Yeah. You know.
I have kids too, and I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, you know, you wanna be there for them. Sometimes we can't protect them. You know. And.
So let me ask you, if this belief in the God was not true.
If I didn't believe in him? Is that what
If
I didn't believe, or
if
he didn't exist at all?
If the God didn't exist at all.
At all.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If the God didn't exist at all.
And we all knew this, okay.
And you came to realize that the God didn't exist.
Okay.
Well, that's not even good. Here's my question. I'm getting confused. If the God didn't exist, how would you figure it out so that you can lower your confidence down to a 5?
If he did not exist. Okay, say that again.
Yeah, if your God didn't exist, how could you figure it out? How could you align your beliefs in proportion with reality if he really didn't exist? How could you figure it out?
I don't know. Maybe have a belief in. Good question. How would I figure it out? I mean, I don't know. I guess I would just. It would be having a support system, you know.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean. Well, that's a good question. I mean, how would I figure it out? I mean, if there wasn't.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking back to the trail. Like you came here to the trail early, and somebody asked you something, and you recorrected your route.
Yeah.
Because she was like, "Hey, where are you going?" or whatever, right?
Yeah, I engaged.
Yeah, you had ability to figure out that
Yeah.
you were heading in the wrong direction, right?
Yeah.
That your view of that map.
I wanted more of a challenging trail.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, wait a minute.
So that was a corrective measure where you were able to adjust and go on the right path.
So now I know what to do, you know, in a couple of, when I come back out here.
With regards to this belief in a God, if the God really didn't exist, how could you, what's the corrective measure that's at your disposal so that you can recorrect direction?
That's a tough question. I mean, it really is, if you think about it. Because, you know, right now my belief is in God. So I'm like, okay, what would be my corrective measure? I don't know, maybe just something spiritual. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough question.
It is hard. Yeah,
It really is.
it's challenging.
It's a very, yeah. I don't know what I would, you know, what would be my corrective measure if there was not a God? Because that's what you're asking me. If he did not exist. But that's been my belief, you know. That's how I was brought up.
Yeah.
You know, I was brought up a Catholic. And,
You know what's interesting is I'm wondering is that if a person doesn't have a way to figure out that the belief, do you want to move in the shade just a tad? If a person has a belief that they can't figure out if it's not true, how could they be so confident that it is?
I do question it sometimes. I do, you know. Sometimes I do question, you know. But I feel like it's good to believe in something to give us hope, give us, you know, when things like, you know, everything happening now, you know, with all the hurricanes and everything. I mean, you always have to turn a negative into a positive. Sometimes these things, you know, that happen in life, I mean, like I said, they're trials, maybe that he's putting us through to see how we can overcome.
I think you said that you felt that it was good to believe in something.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Pardon?
Yes, I mean, I'm just saying, yeah. I feel like it's good to believe in something to get us through all these trials and tribulations that we go through at times. I mean,
could a person be believing in something that gets them through difficult times, but it not actually be true?
Could a person, say that again?
Yes, ma'am. Could a person believe in something that's not true, and yet it still gets them through difficult times?
And of course, we're going back to God. Same thing. That's what you're asking me.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I mean, it'll still believe in something that, because you're saying that believe in something that's not true. That's what you just said. Believe in something that's not true. But how do we know that it's not true? Because that's your belief, right?
I'm trying to be very neutral here.
Yeah.
But
at the beginning you said you don't believe, right?
I did?
Didn't you? I thought you said.
I might have.
Oh yeah, I think you did.
I try not to. I try not to actually give people my position because I don't want to influence it.
Yeah.
But I do want to challenge.
No, you're not going to influence me on that. No, you're not going to. No.
Okay, so I think what you said that it's good to believe in something.
Yeah.
And my question was, could a person be believing in something
that's not true?
That's not true, but still derive benefit from it?
Yeah, you can still benefit from that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are you saying that you could be believing in something that gives you benefit, but it actually not be true?
But I don't feel that it's not true. That's my answer to that.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah. Because I believe in the High Almighty. I do believe in Him. Yeah. You know, I've never seen Him, but I do believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe because that was my, you know, it all depends on your upbringing too. And
do you think if you were raised with a completely different God, that you'd be believing that that God exists and gets you through those times?
I probably would, because as a child, you know, we're molded, you know, pretty much by our parents. I mean, it's a learned behavior when we're children. You know?
Okay.
So yeah.
I want to get real deep with this question.
Oh.
Could you have been taught something that you think is true, at least to an 85% confidence,
Yeah.
but it actually be not, and you're deriving benefit from it? Could you be believing in something that's really not true?
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, as a child, I mean, and then it was instilled in me, so I'm sure, you know, we have our different cultures that, you know, believe and have their own beliefs, but that's how they were raised, the children.
Okay.
So that's how I was raised as a Catholic, so.
So I want to summarize where we are. We can wrap it up.
Yeah.
Because I've held you for
far.
far.
I'm getting hungry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
I've held you far too long.
No,
far too
that's
long.
okay. Yeah.
Okay, so if I understand right, you were raised with a belief.
Yes.
You were taught it as a young kid. You recognize that it's good to believe in something.
Yes.
You have an 85% confidence that it's true. And you have no way of discovering that it's not true.
Right. I have no way of discovering that it's not true.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
But it's still good to believe in something to get us through trials and tribulations.
I want to ask one more question. You can go and just think about it. You don't even have to answer here if you don't want to.
Okay.
The question is, do you, Patricia, want to believe things that are true and get rid of beliefs that are not true?
Yeah, I want to believe in things that are true. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You know what? But you know what? It's. I mean, you kind of. I mean, I got the physical, and then you were digging into my brain, so which is okay. Which is okay.
I was
Maybe
digging
if you had asked, if you had asked me this before I started to walk, I probably wouldn't have been able to.